This is Trade Focus with FX Insights. I'm JC, the founder of CIS Trading, the economic theorist and developer for Quorum's capitalism theorem. I am going to be using some of the pro trading philosophy, introducing the CIS CCT market indicators for Quorum's capitalism theorem. We're going to look at the CIS CCT Pro Calculator with the Trade Focus spreadsheet. So with this, we're going to look at the Euro Great British Pound in the foreign exchange market. We are going to review the UPS stock, and we're going to use the Forexometer and the STOXometer to go through those using the CIS CCT Quorum Capitalism Theorem Pro Calculator. I'm going to show you how that works, how we set that up. And as we review that, we'll look at some charts to gather some data. I'm going to walk through MSN Money, show you how I get the information from MSN Money, plug it in, and I have it set up to where it will automatically calculate out every single metric for the trades that are in focus. So we're looking at the Euro Great British Pound on the Forexometer, and we're looking at the UPS stock on our STOXometer. So let's get started. First, this is what the Quorum Capitalism Theorem Trade Focus spreadsheet looks like. To get started, all of the orange boxes, these orange boxes, those are all data entry boxes. So one thing that you have to make certain of is when you go through the Quorum Capitalism Theorem Pro Calculator, that you get all your data entry in all those orange boxes. Now, the boxes that have the orange tabs beside them, like stop risk, real CCT return on capital, or real CCT capital, those aren't data entry boxes, just the regular boxes. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through these, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do this, all right? So to get started, in the upper left-hand corner of the Quorum Capitalism Theorem Pro Calculator, we have the Forexometer selection. That is going to be our foreign exchange pair that we're looking at. So we're going to look at the Euro Great British Pound. It correlates somewhat with the UPS stock and the US dollar. And then we're going to look at our STOXometer selection is going to be UPS. Our Forexometer is in this area toward the middle right of the screen. And then the STOXometer is on the far right-hand side of the screen. All right. Our principal currency in the upper right-hand corner is the US dollar. Our yield spread source is going to be the US 10-year yield and the US 10-year bond. All right. So let's get started. Let's look at our first boxes here. We have bond premium and yield. This is very simple. I'm going to go right over to our chart. And I'm going to be using TradingView with the TradingView toolkit. You can see at the bottom I have the CIS CCT Capital Performance Real Capital Risk, or real cost of capital indicator down there on the bottom, and we'll take a look at that here a little later. So on the right hand side, we're going to go over here and look. What I have highlighted, where my cursor is the US 10-year bond trade, and it is at 102.206. All right, and then our US 10-year yield just above it is at, basically we're going to say 2.08. It's at 2.075. We're going to say 2.08. And I'm going to go over here to my Trade Focus spreadsheet, bond premium 102.206, and I'm going to enter that in that box. And then my yield at 2.08. All right. Now, I'm going to jump over. You can see on that left-hand side, there's no more data entry there. So I'm going to jump over here where it says principal value 100, and then underneath it, principal market. This is the first of our currency pairs. All right. It is the first of our currency pairs. And that is going to be the euro. And then our second one, where it says principal market down here, this is our British pound. All right. So when I go to my chart, I'm going to look at it. And what I'm going to look at is the euro trade, 111.27 versus the dollar, and the pound trade versus the US dollar, 123.84, because the pound trade and the euro trade are relative to our principal currency, the US dollar. So even though I'm trading euro pound, I'm going to look at those two currencies relative to the US dollar. So 111.27 and 123.84. Now the way I have to enter these in is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to type in 111.27, just like it was 100%. So I'm going to take 111.27 and I'm going to write it as 111.27 cents. And then on the Great British Pound, where it says principal market, 123.84. All right, so that's a little bit different than how the actual foreign exchange market's set up, but it works out perfect here in a few minutes. All right, so our next box is the Forex lowest low for the last 4 days. So I'm going to go back to my chart. I'm going to go back to 4 days and pull up the lowest low, and that lowest low is 88.917. So I'm going to go back over there, 88.917. Then FX highest high for the last 4 days. All right, so go back to my chart, go to the highest high for the last 4 days. Very simple, 90051. All right, so 90051. And then I'm going to go to my STOX lowest low. All right, now my STOX is for the Stoxometer, the UPS stock. So I'm going to go to my UPS chart, and the lowest low of the last 4 days was 104.01. So I'm going to go right there, and I'm at 104.01. And then I'm going to look for the STOX highest high for the last 4 days. So I go to my chart, highest high, 121.30. I go back to my CIS, CCT, Pro Calculator, and I put in that 124.30. All right. Then I'm going to look at the US dollar. All right, the US dollar, lowest low and highest high for the last 4 days, just the last 4 days. So the lowest low, 97.30, and the highest high is 98.09. 97.30, 98.09. I go back to my CCT Pro Calculator, lowest low, 97.30, highest high, 98.09. And then I'm going to put in the current value of the US dollar. So go back to my chart, and I'm at 97.91. And I'm at 97.90. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about the 1 penny. I'm just going to leave it like that. All right. Now I'm going to go to my Forexometer. Now this is my Forexometer. Now this seems strange, but watch how this works. All right. We are going to go to the Great British Pound, Euro Great British Pound trade. And I'm going to pull up that currency pair. And what I'm going to do is go through the last 4 candles and put in the 4 close values. Just the 4 close values, all right? Not anything else, just the 4 close values. All right, so my first close value, I have 89,631. My second close value, I have 89,231. So 89,631, 89,231. My next close value is 89,593. And my next is 89,841. So I'm going to go back. I have 89,631, 89,231, 89,476, 89,841. All right. And on my Forexometer, what we have on the Forexometer is it calculates out all of our metrics for everything. All right. If it is a blue box, okay, if it is a blue box on the CIS-CCT Pro Calculator for Quorum Capitalism Theorem, what that blue box does is it is simply a function that transfers that value when Quorum Capitalism Theorem calculates out the trade focus. All right? So those are just calculated values that are going to be used again. The green boxes are the very important values. Those are the transfer values and the values that we're really focusing on primarily. All right? But there's a lot of information to this. For example, I have the premium and the yield spread. Okay, so I know what the premium and the yield spread is, and I go over all of this in the Quorum Capitalism Theorem seminar. It's a 2-hour seminar. You get Forexometer, STOXometer, the CIS-CCT Pro Calculator, this TradeFOCUS spreadsheet, all right? And you also get the CIS-CCT indicator for the capital performance, which is a real capital cost, in that seminar. It's a 2-hour seminar, and I go over some of these principles. All right, then we have the cost of capital, okay, which is the same as the yield spread. Then I have the Forex capital risk, okay, that's the total capital risk in the Forex market. Now, capital risk means that's how many pips that I can lose and still be correct on the trade. All right, so in some currency pairs, that could be as many as 40. In this one, it's 2.25, euro, British pound. All right. Then I have the productivity standard. Now, the productivity standard is the combination of two things that translates into inflationary pressure. All right. And what the productivity standard is that's what I need to overcome to really make a capital gain using the US dollar. So I need at least 2.13 pips is what it's saying. And then there's the productivity standards and the principal capital risk. Those are calculated values that go into some of the functions. And then there's Pro Power Forex. Your Pro Power Forex is the maximum power that it can calculate potentially in the foreign exchange trade. In other words, there's a way we can see 284 pip maximum move in the euro, Great British pound. Then it calculates that out for the Pro Power STOX also. And it's saying that the predominant move is about $5.07 is a stable, strong move in that stock. And then the Pro Power US dollar is 20 cents. So what I'm getting is Pro Power FX, that's the maximum 284. You divide that by 10, that's 28 pips a swing. $5 a swing or move in the stock for UPS, and 20 cents for the US dollar. So like if it's at 97.9, it could go to 97.70 or 98.10. All right, and then I have some important stop risk and productivity values. All right, so the US dollar Forex productivity values at 0, and the stop risk is 1 pip. All right, the Forex performance ratio. Now this is the percentage performance of the currency pair. That's 113%. Compared to the performance of the US dollar in the market, which is only 41%. That's a Forex to US dollar. In other words, the FX pair we're looking at to US dollar ratio is putting the dollar to work in the euro British pound has a 274% benefit to just the dollar performance by itself. Now here's something very important. At the very bottom left-hand corner, this is strange on this particular currency pair, but the Forex active trade is only 1 pip. Keep that in mind. The Forex active trade on this is just 1 pip. And what that typically means is we're at a place where the market is really tight. All right, so it could be a key reversal area or a consolidation area. Typically, that active trade is typically around a number that's about 10 divided into the Pro Power Forex. So when you look at the Pro Power, if you were to divide that by 10, typically the Forex active trade's right around that number, somewhere closer to that, all right? So go through Our second column, our principal risk factor, all right, is the capital risk for the euro, 113. Okay, that's 1.13% of the U.S. dollar, and in $100,000 increments in a lot, that's $1,130. Then there's the British pound risk factor and capital risk is 1.127. And the US dollar capital risk is 2.1%. All right? In other words, that's 2.1% of initial risk when you put the dollar to work. You lose that value. That doesn't mean that the trade moves against you that much. It just means that that's that much risk when you put the dollar to work. All right? So when we look at our Forexometer, when it calculates all this out in the Forexometer, you have the trade percentile and the trade value. The trade value is where it says the market should be. It says the market should be around 89, 82.8. All right, so let's go to our chart. Where are we trading at? 89.84. Do you see how accurate that is? I never put the price of the currency pair in there. I didn't put the price in there at all. All I put in there were the close values and the range, and the Forexometer calculates out that we should be trading around 89, 82.8, and we're at 84, 89.84. The trade percentile puts that trade at 80%. Now, when I say 80%, think about it like a Fibonacci retracement, sort of. It's putting it in an 80 percentile, so we're in the top 20% range. The low power pro percentage, in other words, the low end of the trade, what it projects to be the low end or the short end of the trade, is at 55%. Now, if that's over 50%, then you're on the bullish side of that trade. Now, the high power pro percentage is at 105%. And it's saying that the high power pro percentage, in other words, maximum performance from the current trade value, would put us beyond 100% of the actual trade potential that's calculated, all right? Now, we have a long trade target to the exact pip. It calculates this out to the exact pip, all right? All the mathematics is something that I've done in my Quorum's capitalism theorem, all right? And it calculates out the long trade target of 90.64, all right? So 90, 60, and 4. Now, when you go back to the chart, I want you to go back and look over the last swing of this Euro British pound. We were up around the 90.50 region, like 90.51 at this high. All right? So we've been sort of to that area. Do you see what I'm telling you? So when we look at this CCT Pro calculator and we look at the Forexometer and it's telling us that our long trade target is right around our peak range on our last swing high. Our short trade target is around 89.5. Now, the core signal and the pro signal are from the pro trading philosophy and the pro trading principles and methods from the pro trading seminar that I instruct and the book that I have authored. Those signals, the core signal and the pro signal, it is measuring whether the core value is a buy or sell condition and telling you that the core signal indicates a short to 89.052. All right? It's saying that the pro signal indicates a buy at 90.64. 90604. But when you look at the reversal and stop risk, do you see how they're the exact same number? And the real slippage is only a tenth. What that means is the market has completely tightened, and that might potentially indicate a reversal. All right? Now, the core value is the core value based on the Forexometer trade value of 89,828. All right, and it provides that. All right, so you know exactly where that core value is, and we're trading right now at 89.84, and our core value is sort of way below us a little bit, almost 40 pips, 36 pips below us at 89.48.4. All right, so we can look at that on a chart and see where 89, where that core value is right around this area where I have this blue line marked. All right, and our target region's all the way down around this on a short. All right, our long area is up here just above this market making area to a new high. That's our long target on this trade. All right, now the Forexometer, when you plug all these values in to the CIS CCT Pro Calculator TradeFOCUS spreadsheet, the Forexometer will calculate your trade value, in other words, where you should be, all right, where your percentile is for your low target, high target, and your current trade, where the current value. And then it will project your long target, your short target, give you the core value pro trading signal and what that target is, and the pro signal from pro trading, what that target is. In this case, they're two different numbers. So we've reached an area where we're at some kind of consolidation or reversal condition. All right. So we can go into our chart and we can look at the Euro British Pound, and we have on our CIS CCT, we're showing a little bit of devaluation, which signals a sell. All right, with yields moving just a little bit higher, but not much. All right, we show the cost of capital is negative. All right, so, and what that means is that the dollar isn't performing in the markets and in the economy. Its performance by itself outperforms the markets and the economy. In other words, the economy doesn't have enough money in productivity using the dollar to pay a yield. All right. So when we look at like our ICE markets conditions, you can see on our last ICE market, we're in a buy condition, but we're showing on our ICE QMA analysis, the qualitative mean analysis, we're showing that it traded higher than the current value of our candle. And that could potentially signal that if we get a move higher, we'll see something come back in on that trade. All right. Now let's take a look at our CIS Trading View Toolkit signal. All right. We have a buy signal from the previous trading session, but we are trading right at the algorithm value. Up here around this 89.915 area is where that algorithm value is. There's no Prometrics reversal, even though we had a reversal condition. We didn't have any Prometrics reversal, so that's not a 3-bar reversal. We do have a 2-step reversal, but we've already hit that Prometrics target there. All right, we've already visited this 90.51 with a target up around 90.60. All right, so what we're going to watch for on this Euro British Pound, simply based on the Forexometer, all right, is the potential of a core signal reversal short, at least down to the core value of 89.48.4 and then to 89.052. All right, with the expectation of about a 28 pip move with a maximum market power of 284 pips. If the market was to peak delta, we would see that kind of delta. And to see if this pro signal changes. Now, what you can do is once trading starts, for example, on Sunday night, once trading starts, you can get into that 9 o'clock hour, get about 3 hours of market open, and simply go right back in and put in your current values, including the current candle for the daily. You can go back in and start putting those values in. You won't change too much as far as your other values go. But mostly just your Forexometer values would be what changes. And when you go in and you put those in, you might get different numbers. Because if you have a higher close and you use that close value, it's going to adjust those metrics. All right? So that's the Forexometer and the introduction to how to get started with the CIS-CCT Pro Calculator TradeFOCUS spreadsheet. And now we're going to move on to the TradeFOCUS STOXometer. All right? Now, with the STOXometer, you have to use fundamental data. All right? Two things we're going to do is I am going to prove that within the quantitative and qualitative information contained on a chart, all the news is there as far as the fundamentals are concerned. All right? I'm going to show you that. And we're going to put those fundamentals in, and I'm going to demonstrate with this STOXometer the accuracy of the CIS-CCT and the Quorum's capitalism theorem for capital management and capital performance, how accurate this pro calculator is at determining what decision we really need to be making in the market, where a value really is in a stock. All right, whether it's higher or whether it's lower, based on their current performance. All right, so the way we're going to begin this is our first values here are outstanding shares. All right, for UPS. So I am going to go to MSN Money. All right, now as I go through this, I want to remind you that I have an MSN Money toolkit where the STOXometer was originated all the way back in 2008 and 9. I put this together using it for MSN Money for stock picking, and I did penny stocks. Even on my watch list, I still keep penny stocks on there. Bruker Biosciences, I started at $5-6 a share. Bruker Biosciences is trading at $45 a share now, and I started following that stock and worked out the STOXometer over the course of a couple of years with MSN Money Toolkit, and then transferred it over to the CIS-CCT Pro Calculator TradeFOCUS spreadsheet for the pro trading philosophy and Quorum's capitalism theorem. All right. So UPS stock, we're trading at 120.58, and we're not going to get into too much as far as anything, but there's the strict data that we need. So shares outstanding, 859 million. So I go over here, I have 859 million. Price per share, 120.58. All right. Now capitalization, this is kind of tricky. All right. And it doesn't make sense at first to some, but the way I come to that number is I go to my financials on MSN Money. I click on my financials for UPS. I go right over here to cash flow. And what I'm concerned about is how much capital that UPS has to work with. In other words, not only from their revenues and their operating cash flows, all right, from doing business, but also from their stock. How much cash total do they have in free cash flow at any given time? And this is in millions, is $22 billion, $5 million. All right. So I'm going to go to my STOXometer and I'm going to put in on my CIS-CCT Pro Calculator, I'm going to put in 225. Make sure that's correct. Or sorry, $22.5 billion. So there we go. Our capitalization is $22.5 billion. Our revenue, so I need to look at our revenue. So I go back over to MSN Money. Now to get revenue, I go from cash flow over to my income statement. I go right down here, and all I'm going to do is just look at the last reported revenue. Now you're not going to believe how accurate this is, even if there is a new earnings release about to happen. This information is still going to do what we need it to do, because I've done something in the calculator itself with Quorum's capitalism theorem So it knows how to distribute the value to determine where we really are in this stock. So total revenue, $71,861,000,000. So $71,861,000,000. I'm there. All right. Cost. Now, when I look at the cost, that's something that's going to be calculated by simply doing this. Go all the way over to your MSN Money. Go down to your total net income. That's under your income statement. Your total net income, $4,791,000,000. We're going to put $4,791,000,000 right there in our profit. All right? In our profit. That's net income. Now, this is important. All of these numbers for UPS are their actual reported numbers. All right? In their financial quantitative analysis, and they're all going to end up being wrong. Understand what I'm telling you. Markets really work. Never, ever in the United States of America, in the country that gave birth to capitalism and the opportunity for a capitalist life, vote for anyone ever who tells you markets don't work. I'm going to show you right now markets really work. The return on capital for UPS is 21.29%. The profit is $4,791,000,000. The revenue is $71,861,000,000, and their actual capital is $22,500,000,000. Their actual capitalization, how much capital they have to work with. But when I go through my capitalism theorem, that's not what UPS's real numbers are. Their real numbers are this. Real quorum capitalism theorem capital is only worth $21,878,000,000. All right? That's almost $700 million less. That's a lot of money to be wrong. And every single quantitative accounting metric in financial data is incorrect. They have no qualitative measure. And the market distributes the value based on its qualitative value. So it takes the quantity, which is what we're doing, that UPS reported, and we're going to look at the quality of that in our Stoxometer. Their real quorum capitalism revenue is only $70,442,000,000, but they reported $71,861,000,000. That's almost $1.5 billion more in revenue than what the quorum's capitalism theorem says that money's worth, what the value of it really is. So when you're talking about value investing, you can't value invest at all without CIS CCT Pro Calculator and the Stoxometer. Not anyone in the history of the world in markets has ever done this, ever. Everyone uses these reported numbers, and they're incorrect because they're not qualitatively weighted based on the market standards. The real profit reported was $4,791,000,000. Their net income. That's not what they earned. They only earned $3,372,000,000. That's $1.5 billion difference in a profit margin. Their real quorum capitalism theorem return on capital was 15.41%. But yet their return on capital reported was 21.29%. Now, we can go to MSN Money, and I don't use their metrics for return on capital, but I can find it on here somewhere. It might be on, let's go to the summary, see if it has a return on capital value on summary. Not there. Go to analysis, see if it's there. I don't use it because what I've done with Quorum's capitalism theorem, return on assets. So their return on assets numbers 971, return on capital. Right, that's an old number. That's not using the same data that I'm using. But it doesn't even matter. 971. You see why I don't use that? It's because when I use my Quorum's capitalism theorem, it calculates it out, and this is accurate. They didn't earn 21.29% return on capital. The actual value of the money made their capital returns only 15.41%. All right? Now, once I do all of this, I use this Pro Calculator, the CISCCT Pro Calculator, and I have two factors, all right? I have the price per outstanding share factor. Now, pay attention. I don't care how many shares are owned, and I don't care what the value of them are. Do you understand? I don't care if the value's high or the value's low. The only thing I care about is where this stock, UPS, is capable of trading and still returning on capital better than the Quorum's capitalism theorem metric. In other words, I want to see UPS return better than 15.41%. So what value does their stock need to be to get there? Now, the way I calculate that isn't by looking at how many shares are owned and trying to figure out how to do it that way. I take the outstanding shares at the top and I determine a factor for the price per outstanding share. And I create a factor. That factor is 4.73. That means nothing. That number, it's not relative to anything except it's a metric. All right, it doesn't refer to any quantitative accounting number. And then I have a return on capital factor of 30.71. The CCT, and I'm going to give you an example. The Quorum capitalism theorem says that the return on capital based on UPS's capital structure, meaning their capitalization of $22 billion of cash flow, that their return on capital should be 30.71%. That should be what their profit is. Are you with me? In other words, their return on capital should be based on their company and their outstanding shares and their value should be 30.71%, and it's actually at 15.54%. Now, that's not the return on capital factor for every company. Bruker Biosciences, right now, Bruker Biosciences, their return on capital factor is 24.71. So it is different. My Quorum capitalism theorem knows every company's real financial situation and calculates their capability individually by a different return on capital factor. Now, the bottom four metrics of our STOXometer, these four green boxes, Quorum's capitalism theorem, capital structure metric for UPS is 10,980,602,377. Their current capitalization is more than double that amount. Now, here's the problem. If that company has $22 billion and Quorum's capitalism theorem says they can only use 11 billion of it productively, that other $11 billion is earning, go over here on our capitalism theorem trade focus spreadsheet, and I want you to look at the productivity standard for the US dollar. That is the capital risk 2.1 plus the yield spread of basically minus 0.1. That means that UPS, for every one of those $11 billion that they're overcapitalized, that money loses 2% of its value every single day that they have it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? When we talk about inflation, they lose 2% of that $11 billion every single day that sits there and does nothing. All right? That's not a big deal. It's just $22 million, folks. So what the real quorum capitalism capital structure is in free cash flow, in cash on hand, free cash flow, is $10,980,602,377, not $22 billion. Quorum capitalism theorem, price per share impact, whether it's their price should go up per share or down, is negative $12.69 per share. In other words, UPS needs to go down to a value at the CCT STOXometer value of 107.89. And they're currently trading at, what's that value up there? 120.58. Now, the shares per STOXometer value of 107.89. How many shares have to be sold to get there? This Pro calculator, the CIS CCT Pro calculator, calculates out the precise number of shares that need to be sold. 2,433,161,461 shares need to be sold, and the price needs to drop by $12.69. What that means is there's capital gains in the stock price. Take the capital gains, and when it gets down to that 107 value, now UPS can return 30% on capital. You understand? If we can get UPS down to 107, that's a value where they can return 30.71%. Now, is that better than their number at 21.29? Yes. What I'm trying to explain is capital markets work. When markets go up, they work. When they go down, they work. And if the capital structure for UPS is right, the return on capital will be better. Their responsibility and accountability to capital will be better. And there won't be $22 million of inflation, real inflation money lost that disappears every day because it's just sitting in a bank for UPS. They're overcapitalized. Now, that's not always going to be true. When UPS gets down to 110 and we go through the STOXometer, it could be completely different. All right? So, this is the CIS CCT Pro calculator for Quorum's capitalism theorem trade focus. All right? with the Euro British Pound and UPS stock. The Forexometer, the STOXometer, all created by myself, Joshua Lynn Coram, the creator and developer of Thinkorswim Toolkit and TradingView Toolkit. And what we're going to do now is we're going to look at UPS from a trading perspective at just a chart and see what it really looks like using the TradingView Toolkit. All right, so here we go. Going to UPS stock. This is UPS. All right, UPS made a jump from 105.12 up to 120.58. All right, awesome move, an awesome 4-day move. Had a little gap up there. Gaps mean nothing to me in stocks. It doesn't matter whether they gap up or gap down. It means absolutely nothing to me. All right. I do something actually so that the way my metrics work is it calculates out that that was a candle all the way up there. There's no gap there. All right. So let's turn on some of our indicators for TradingView Toolkit. We're going to look first at the market depth, CISGG Pro Action. All right, we just had a peak market depth of 5.44. All right, a peak market depth of 5.44. All right, in the last 4 trading sessions. Now, if I go over here and I look at my STOX Power, Pro Power Stocks says 5.07. Do you see how accurate that is? Now, let's go back to our stock chart. So we had a peak level, a max depth of 5.44, and now we're back down trading at a depth of about 3.7. So we were at a delta of about 3.7. We're a little bit above the average. All right. Our current signal is a buy signal, and our trend signal is a buy signal. All right. With market depth trading higher. Now let's take a look at our Pro Trader. So here was UPS just above the trend curve, trading right up against the momentum curve, the momentum inversion curve. All right, and it gapped up beyond the high target, beyond the peak high target, and then proceeded 3 consecutive days through the Great Gatsby Pro Trader peak high target, the GG high. It went all the way to that peak high target, all 3 days. And it has yet to come off of those. And so eventually, we're going to see a move off of those, is what that looks like. When we've bumped into those a couple of times, you can see when we come up and hit this, we kind of stop before we make another move back up. Once we get to that peak high target. All right? So let's look at CISGG Pro Metrics. So here's our metrics. Look at how shallow this market has been. All right? How moderate the market depth activity was, with just a peak about 30% of the time, but nothing significant beyond this one down day on the gap down. All right, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, and we're going to take a look at some of our metrics. All right, so look. Our momentum is leading. That's our leading indicator. All right, and our momentum's above and leading us higher. All right, our price action, our momentum's at $12. Okay, now do you think that UPS is going to continue moving at a pace of $12 higher? All right. The metrics don't. You can see how they're coming off. They are indicating that there's going to be a move down, even though they're bullish. The price action is showing 10.75 price performance. All right. The trend strength is showing $11 in price performance. And our hot bar compression is at 7.36. Now, do you think with a max depth of $5.44, $5.44, that UPS is going to move $7.36 to the upside? Our CIS CCT Pro Calculator says it's not going to move much more than 5.07. That's where the pro power is in the stocks. All right? That doesn't mean that UPS isn't bullish. But what we know is that our price needs to be right down here at this pro trader trend, right here, at 107. That's where pro trader trend is. The Stoxometer says that our price needs to be at 107.89. Our momentum metric is at 110.05. The Pro Trader GG average, which is the inversion momentum curve, and what the Stoxometer is telling us is this is where UPS needs to be trading, is between this 107 to 110 range. All right? So that's what UPS looks like with the Trading View Toolkit. All right? Now, I'm going to look at UPS, and we're going to look at what it looks like on the Prometrics algorithm. United Parcel Service at the New York Stock Exchange. We're going to look at it on the Prometrics algorithm with the CIS, CCT Capital Performance, Real Capital Cost Indicator at the bottom of the chart. I'm going to turn on the Prometrics. So when we look at our metrics are showing a price of a momentum adjusted price at 131.37. But when you look at the last 3 trading days that we moved higher into those peak highs, those peak target highs, we were at 124.5 on our potential. We were all the way up to 129 on our potential. And all the way up to 131 on our peak momentum potential. All right, but price isn't going to perform that high. I think that if you look at how close these bars are, there's a chance we get a Prometrics reversal on this. All right, if the real cost of capital gets reduced from this 0.64, this negative number, and it starts to come in towards zero, positive, on this CIS CCT capital performance, if that happens, we're definitely going to see a reversal. I think the dollar will put some pressure on it in its performance, because we know from Quorum's capitalism theorem, looking at our Stoxometer, that the valuations are off for UPS to be able to actually perform with a higher, more efficient return on capital than where they're currently performing. And what that means is their capital structure needs to be reduced until it's at a value where they can perform at that high level again. And if you get them down to 107.89, I think that happens. And when we look at our charts, and I go all the way down here to where this gap is, that 107 area, that's right where we gapped and broke a peak target high. We have that gap area there. And our last metric was at that 106 region. All right? So that's what UPS looks like on the CIS Trading View Toolkit with the potential of a Prometrics reversal coming. That's what it looks like on the Trading View Toolkit indicator system. And that's what it looks like on our CIS CCT capital performance indicators and our Quorum Capitalism Theorem Pro Calculator TradeFOCUS statistical spreadsheet. All right. So once again, I'm JC with FX Insights and TradeFOCUS, looking at quorum capitalism theorem. One thing I encourage you to do is to go to the website at cisevents.wordpress.com. All right. When you go there, you can go through. I'm about to update the whole new series for CCT series. I'm going to put a page up for that. But you can locate all of that on the very front page. You can go through. There's the tax plan for the federal budget, the new CIS-CCT indicator that we just went over, the CIS-CCT Pro Calculator spreadsheet with Stoxometer and Forexometer, the TradingView Toolkit. There's videos, photographs, Thinkorswim Toolkit, Free Stock Charts Toolkit, and the Pro Trader Forex signals from the GG series. You can see where I got started in 2008 designing custom trading systems. You can go through. All of this has been updated recent. If you go to CIS Topics on the website and you pull up CIS Topics, again, that's cisevents.wordpress.com. And if you click on topics, there's information there for the Pro Trading Seminar. All right, this isn't really a sales gimmick. If you go to one of these seminars, it's 6 hours long, and it's everything that not anyone ever knew about trading. And you get a $50 discount. There's a discount offer there, $200 a person. I do special events with it also. But when you go through there and you look at what you're getting TradingView Toolkit for free. Pro Action, Pro Trader, Pro Metrics. I do a live trading session with nothing but candlesticks. And I go over all kinds of things using the pro trading philosophy, and it's all my stuff. It's all something that I've done and all something that I've developed over a long period of time, and it's something not anyone else has ever known before. And with it, I'm going to give you TradingView Toolkit. So if you are with an organization or a group that wants to do one of those seminars, that's something to look into. There's the Quorum Capitalism Seminar. I go over some of the factors and metrics used in calculating quorum capitalism theorem, how it works in Main Street economy. And I don't really like that term because capital markets are really Main Street. If you could prevent inflation and capital cost and capital structures, trading and making and creating capital gains, you end inflationary pressure and the cost of capital on the street where you do business. But with Quorum's capitalism theorem, $50 a person, $50, it's free CIS-CCT capital performance indicator. You get the free Stoxometer, the free Forexometer, you get the free CIS-CCT Pro Calculator. I give all of that away with Quorum's capitalism theorem. That's how much I reward a capitalist mentality that wants to desire and know how capitalism really works. Not how to socialize the economy and distribute money everywhere, but how to really be a capitalist and be productive with capital. And you can go through and look. I have all kinds of videos and photos, and there's all kinds of information there, links to the YouTube pages. All right, and I have a lot of slideshows that go over all of the indicator systems for the website. Again, that's cisevents.wordpress.com and youtube.com/user/CIS trading. This is JC. Thank you so much for your time.